Good morning, everybody, and thank you for being here today. My name is Konstantin Chokanel, and I'm a faculty here at NAU in the Mechanical Engineering Department. And I will talk today about next generation energy storage. And particularly, what I'm going to talk about are structural supercapacitors. And why is this important? As Dr. Acker mentioned a minute ago, the challenge of any electricity power system is to have a way to store electricity when the electricity is generated but not used by the system. And a good example is when you look at wind and solar energy conversion. You have times when the wind is very strong, like these days in Flagstaff, but the grid doesn't need so much electricity for current use. Or there are times when the solar is generating a lot of electricity, but the grid is not able to absorb it. So during those times, you need to store electricity. And storing the electricity comes at a very high cost. What is being currently used for electricity storage, as we all know, are batteries and capacitors. Now, batteries are relatively expensive, providing electricity based on a chemical reaction, while capacitors are somewhat less expensive, and they store electricity by charging plates, some conductive plates, as are shown here in the image on the right, and those plates are separated by a separator that is basically an insulator material. And why I'm making this case is because we all know that batteries have a short life, and then they have a low cycle, low operating cycle, and they have a large volume. But we also know that capacitors, on the other hand, are small in volume, they have an infinite life, and they have a fast discharge cycle. So if you look at both of these worlds, you try to come up with a solution that is going to have as much as possible the characteristics of both worlds, to be charging fairly fast on one hand, and discharge fast, and to have a small volume, and then to have a long life and cost very, very little amount of money. And why is that? Because currently, if we look at what energy conversion companies, particularly on the wind and solar part, are using for electricity storage, they are using big blocks of batteries. And these big batteries are coming at a cost because they are huge in volume. So cost per unit volume is very high. But also they come at a high cost because being so big, they require a lot of space to be stored on. So that comes with a price of real estate. So if you factor in the real estate cost and the manufacturing cost, that brings up the electricity cost quite a bit. So what we are doing here at NAU, we are working on a technology that has the potential to reduce such a storage unit to about a quarter or even less in size. And how that is being done? Let's look at two things here. Let's look at how solar and wind energy conversion systems look like. And wonder for a second, what do these things have in common? And if you look at both of them, what you see that they have in common are huge surface areas. And these huge surface areas are there primarily to provide structural capacity. For the solar, they also provide the mean of capturing the sun energy. But then if you look beyond that, and if you look at one of the means of electricity storage that I mentioned a minute ago, which are the capacitors, you realize that the availability of surface area is a tremendous advantage to us, because we can take a capacitor, which, if you look at this equation right here, is providing the mean of electricity storage in high amounts if it has high surface area to store electricity in. Then we can take a capacitor and embed it in the structure of either the solar or the wind energy conversion system. And then we have in one system the conversion and the storage combined. And how that is being done here at NAU, we are developing a structural supercapacitor, we call it. And we call it supercapacitor because it meets the good of both worlds that I started off with, the battery and the capacitor. A supercapacitor has the potential to store a lot more electricity than a regular capacitor does. and is also capable of being charged fast and discharged fast, as you would imagine that would be a need in energy conversion systems. And if you look at the structural capacitor as we build it here at NAU, we are making it out of, to be a lightweight material that is made out of carbon fiber weave, so the black sheets on top and bottom of that schematic on the top are carbon fiber weaves. And you know that carbon fiber weaves are used in race cars, in very lightweight equipment, bikes, and so on and so forth. And then we use a separator material, which is the insulator I showed in the earlier diagram when I introduced the capacitor. And then in between, we use a solid polymer electrolyte, which acts as a bonding element, as a glue, if you wish, to bond all these layers together. And with that, we come up with a structural material, which we brought some samples of right here. So I'm going to pass them around the room towards the end. So that material is being made here at NAU. And we have an image of a prototype on the bottom side, on the left side of the presentation. And what this shows is that the material does work as an electricity storage system. And as you are going to be touching the material and seeing it later on, you are going to see that it has structural properties as well. And this is a huge achievement, because making a material that is structural in nature and also capable of storing electricity is not easy to come along with. So I'm going to try to wrap up my presentation, moving along and telling you what the future is. And in my opinion, the future, at least in electricity storage, is of structural supercapacitors. And why is that? Because I believe that with a material that has structural properties and is also capable of storing electricity, we can take a material like that and embed it in a wind turbine blade. We can embed it in a photovoltaic cell as the backing of the photovoltaic array, or we can embed it even in a car. If you think of an electric car, if you drive a hybrid, you will have a means to supplement the battery and increase the life of the battery by placing supercapacitors on the hood and all the panels that the car has available to it. So this is, in my opinion, the future. And I let you reflect on this. And I want to just make one more comment that was beautiful about this. All this can be made here in Flagstaff. We are making it as we speak here in our lab. And we are not involving very complicated things, very elaborate equipment or space. So if it works like this, certainly has a huge potential for being made and developed further here in Flagstaff. With this, I would like to thank you. And I would like to thank Dr. Cindy Browder, who is here in the audience, and is my collaborator on this project. And I would like to thank our students. One of the students working on the project is Chris Simpson here in the front table. And obviously, I would like to thank NAU for supporting this project. Thank you again, and I would be happy to take any of your questions. Thank you.